evening, March the 13th, and time to do some art. Welcome to my desk. Welcome to my desk. So, it's been quite a day. It's been quite a day for me. Let me get live here while nobody's found me yet. Go to my live chat and skip the ads and set up my quality. I don't know why they always start me out at 144, but that's what they do. Hi, Sharon. Welcome, Sharon. Ooh, that doesn't look like 144 at 720. It says it is. Okay. Well, I have been exploring since I did this the other night, this little paper bag journal, and I copied this down. And this is Pennsylvania Dutch Fraktur. And so I wanted to learn more about it, and I'm sure glad I did. I did a whole bunch of notes here in my Society of Idea Collector. Write it down, Dee Dee says. Write it down. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Teresa. Oh, that's not Teresa. That's Trace. Hi, Trace. Welcome, welcome, ladies. So let me just share with you some of the things that I've been learning about it. Fraktur. And of course, it's not only an art form like this, Pennsylvania Dutch. Actually, it's German. This happened to be Pennsylvania Dutch here, but it originated over in Germany. And Albert Dürer was commissioned by Maximilian I, Emperor Maximilian I, to do the triumphal procession, I think. And he commissioned Hieronymus Andrea, I can't pronounce all these foreign names, who was a woodblock cutter. And this Hieronymus Andrea, he developed the Fraktur alphabet. And they call it Fraktur because it's broken. It's almost like the Old English Gothic. It's not just a cursive round, like A. It's like, well, here, let me do a pen. It's a cursive would be like A, a round A, and it's not broken. Fraktur would be like A, and then you break it and come down like that, and then you do it like that, like that. It's more of a broke. Of course, that's not a good example of it, but it's an example of how they break up the different lines to make the alphabet. So I did the etymology of it, just following what Dee Dee has taught us in the past about mind mapping. Comes from like fracture or a break, angular, broken letters. Old, they called it black work, I think, black letter, German black letter. So I did a whole bunch I did my mind map, and Dee Dee always says I do the why not. But, when I do my mind maps, I add, and you aren't going to be able to see this because it's just written small for me, but I go why, I go who, and then I go, well, who else? And then what if, what else, where, wherever, when, whenever, why not, and what if, and then I get into some miscellaneous. I get into one that I just called It's Not a W Word. I'm kind of adding another one like imagine, or Dee Dee does a lot of lists. So under my imagine, I put things like challenges and lists and the history notes, research. That's going all under my imagine category. So, and then as a part of this, I looked at one of my challenges was to go out and get lists of Frakturs. And let me bring my email up here and go to some of my, because I always send it to myself in email. It's really interesting once you get to studying this. Fraktur. I want to go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art here. And because that's where you can get, I searched the public domain library. I like to search that. And what I did when I went to there, I was looking at, it's going to take a minute for it to download here. I was looking at, okay, what images are kind of constants and what colors. And when you look at these, you'll see a lot of golds and yellows and greens and maybe some reds and blues in there. Very, I want to say primary colors, but very kind of bright mustard colors there too. Golds, and then they have black and white images too. But the black and white ones aren't that bad. These are just scans because you see the images here. And so I got birds and a lot of floral, a lot of graphic work in there. And look, here's a tree. And the Pennsylvania Dutch, and I suppose other people who did this at this time, Fraktur was not only the Pennsylvania Dutch, well, they came over at different periods in our times, but I'm thinking like the 1800s. I think there was Pennsylvania Dutch that came over before the 1800s. And then you get into this. Why do they call it Dutch when it's not Dutch, it's German? Well, it's because at that time, I watched all these videos and read all this stuff. It was very interesting about how at the time that they named it Pennsylvania Dutch, Dutch did not mean Netherlands. It meant that whole area. It was Deutsch. And, like when they started this term that Pennsylvania Dutch, I think they said Germany didn't even, well, I don't know about Germany, but Netherlands, a lot of these countries in that area didn't even exist at that time. So Dutch or Deutsch or however you pronounce that refers to that whole Germanic area. And I found that very interesting. And then if you get into the later centuries, the actual alphabet was outlawed by the Nazis. Can you believe that? Because they felt a part of it was Western and not, it was their anti-Semitism type stuff. We won't even get into that. But the Nazis, is it a fact if you go read that? Let's light the holly candle. I found that very interesting that they outlawed it in the alphabet. The Pennsylvania Dutch alphabet. I'm going, oh no, not really. And listen, what else? Oh, then I got into researching the guy that outlawed it, and I was reading about all his life and the life of his son. I mean, you can just go, it's down a rabbit trail. And then I did another list. I did a list of things in my world. I'm just kind of reviewing this real fast here for you guys before I get into doing my art. In my world, what things, in their world, they used it on birth certificates and marriage and documents and, I want to say school, but more biblical documents to kind of teach the Bible story, that type of thing. This is a birth certificate here. This I cut out of that history magazine. This little picture is what started my whole weekend. I didn't get much fussy cutting done. I was reading about Fraktur. Got all involved in it. So I made a list of things that I could Fraktur. And I come up with I could do Penelope, a pair of scissors, a dog, my phone case, I'm talking about drawing them, book cover, make a Fraktur art journal, doodles, a plate, a candle, do the word Vibdiggity in the Fraktur alphabet, dress Ruby Rose in a Fraktur outfit. I'm not sure, I got off into another rabbit trail there. A flower garden, you know, make a flower garden of Fraktur. A house, do my channel name in the Fraktur alphabet. An apple, a bunny, and a coffee mug. So there are most of my notes. Oh, and then I wrote down the prevalent colors, the golds, the oranges, the bright yellows, greens, tans, blues. I should have red tones in here because there are some red tones, which is lending more toward the oranges, but red tones and mustards and yellow ochres. And then I was playing around with looking at those freebies at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, picking out designs. So I'm going to play with some Fraktur art tonight. So let's come back and welcome everybody in here. Welcome, welcome. Rhonda says, Kathy, it states that the Black Dutch refers to Dutch immigrants to New York who had swarthier complexions than most of the other Dutch. Kathy D said, I've heard this term Black Dutch. I don't know what that means. I don't either. I've never heard that before, Kathy, but I'll take Rhonda at her word. Mainly due to intermarriage or out-of-wedlock births with Spanish soldiers during the Spanish occupation of the Netherlands. That makes sense. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Pink Girly. Welcome. Trace is here. Sharon's here. Kathy D is here. Rhonda's here. Hi, Jersey Laura, the gentle listener up in the bleachers. Hi up there. Candy D. Riri. Hi, Riri. Sharon Lombard, Trace. Okay, well, welcome everybody. So I was going to work on my bead journal tonight, but I'm really not there. I'm going to play with some Fraktur, and what I thought I would do is, this was my notes here, is I would go to my art journal that I promptly, I was looking for it at 5 till 6 tonight. I couldn't find it. And look, I tore the cover off of here. I'm just going to paint that. I had it here and I can't find it, but I'm going to paint it. And if I find it, I'll put it back on. I haven't worked in this art journal in a long time, and I need to work in it. So I'm going to start out doing some doodles. Here. And then my doodles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace them onto, well, how do I get things out and then I can't find them because, oh, here it is, right under my book. I'm going to trace them onto here and cut some stencils. Now, the one thing I'm still curious about, there were people that went around, and I read that out of that history book. They went around and they would do Fraktur for people, like on their walls or on their houses and things like that, and or documents, and for room and board type things. And I really haven't researched, and that's one of the things I want to do, because they did this by hand. I wish I could pull my mobile camera down. Hi, Icy. Welcome, Icy. Because I've been praying. I've been praying a lot. I've been playing with my mobile app, which has a symmetrical setting that you set the setting and it gives an imaginary line here with a dot in the center. And whatever you draw on this side shows up on this side too. But they didn't have anything like that in their day. And if you look at some of these, let's go back to that one because I was looking at that. If you look at one of these, and I think I was looking at the one on Wiki, but just take these two birds, for instance. This bird and this bird are two birds, but those birds are not the same. This one has a yellow head and that one has a green head. Come on. There. That one has a green head. This one has a yellow head. That one has feathers, geometric feathers. And this one has, well, it has feathers, but they're a different type of, they're more rounded. This bird has feathers that are more scalloped. And this bird over here has more geometric banner type feathers, pointy feathers. However, there are two birds on each side of the Fraktur. And even these two birds, they're two birds and they both have the same swooping shape, but they're different colors and everything. So we tend to think, oh, one side mirrors the other, but not necessarily. Look, see this element here, that star element? It does not show up over on this side. There are two orange elements over there. I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm pointing at here. See, there's a star element there, but that star element here is not on this side. So if you really study this, they are not perfect mirror images. So these things were done entirely by hand. Now what I want to do is draw some images, and then I'm going to cut them out with my stencil. They're going to be simple images. I'm not going to do very complicated things. I might take my images and combine some of them. But I'm going to draw the images, and then when I stencil here, I'm going to stencil over there. Now on my laptop, I was playing with my mobile phone. I'm going to put up some of my videos that I made. I had to clear off space on my phone this afternoon. But on my mobile app, my drawing app, it gives me a symmetrical setting. And it's really fun to watch. When I draw over this side, it shows up there, and I can do all the leaves and roses and birds, and it's just really fun. So let's start. Let's look at chat before I get all involved in my, and I want to remind you again, there's no way that I'm going to see you guys if you talk to me while I'm busy and I have my head in the sand here with my art. So if you want to say something to me, wait till I come out. I've been thinking about maybe making that just a comment and pinning it to the top, because when folks come in, they, you know, especially if they're new people and all of that, they don't see that. Let's see. I want something to put behind here. Let's just take a scrap paper and put behind here like this. So Pinterest has all kinds of this. Yeah, and also recipes. Yeah. I might go look at Pinterest, but right now I'm going to work off of public domain images because I don't want to get in trouble with the law. I don't want to fight the sheriff because the sheriff will win. And what I'm going to do is very simple type things. Rhonda says, be right back, Sharon. Hi, Sharon, Barbara, and Angie. Hi, Mina. Mina, I'm talking about Fraktur tonight. Fraktur. And I got inspired by this Pennsylvania Dutch little birth certificate that I did the other night, and it sent me down a rabbit trail. I did do some fussy cutting this weekend, but very little. You know, and I'm the same way with my fussy cutting. I had that history book, it was This Glorious Century. I had it all torn out. Had all the pages removed and everything. Went in there, started reading. I can't tear this one up yet. I can't tear this one up. I think I pulled out maybe 10 pages to fussy cut. We might do a little of that tonight, but that's really not where I'm going. So, hi, Barbara Chicken Pot Pie Society. Hi, Cheryl. Sharon Lombard. Riri. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Angie. Kathy D. Riri. Cheryl. I tell you, I just about didn't come on tonight. I just got, you know, I was working on my laptop. I was cleaning my phone off. And this phone is, for some reason or another, it works on my little flash drive. You have to have a converter. The converter works on my new phone, but it doesn't work on this phone. So I'm going to have to get in that phone. I usually leave that SD card in the phone forever. But if I want to get those files off of the SD card, I either have to plug it into my laptop and put all the files on my laptop, and then I'm going to move them off of my hard drive, my external drive. That's a bunch of work. But I needed space on the phone, and I didn't want to take out the SD card, so I was playing with that this afternoon. All right, let me unplug this and bring you guys over here. And let's see if there's anything else I need to look at before I... They're saying hello, 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 hello. Cheryl says hello. Mina says hello. I think I caught up on chat here. Meri, read my text above about on Pinterest, I think. She was saying, I will send you a couple greeting cards of Pennsylvania Dutch. Oh, Sharon. Oh, thank you. Put that in my journal. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Icy says hello. Welcome, Icy. Okay, let me go back out to this, and I'm going to draw out almost like a doodle game. Almost like a doodle game. Let's do, see that bird's tail? Doesn't even fit on the page. They got that's okay, something I would do. Let's go to the other bird. Can I get over to the other, whoops. The other bird, his tail fits on the page here. Let's expand it. And let's do this bird. Now I'm going to do it very simple because I want to cut a stencil of it. So I'm going to stencil it this way, and then I am going to put it over here. I may put it in a different position, though, or I may not. We'll see. So let's start with the tail. And, oh, and then if you look at the tail even, if you look at the tail, each one of those feathers is kind of a shape on here. So let's draw the tail here first, and then we'll put the shapes in. Now I have to think stencil here too. So what I'm going to do is cut this part, cut out that might be kind of hard to do. I might just put one dot in there because one dot for that small is okay. And then all of this will be, well, do I want that though? Because I want to color it in. So let's do this. Let's put a line here. See, when you think stencil, and I'm sure that the Fraktur artist did not stencil. I mean, I'm pretty sure. And then what I'll do is the white part here will be black, and the black dots will be cut out. That'll be much easier than trying to cut out all those little white dots. Do I need to zoom in so you guys can see better? Let me zoom in just a little. I might have to move my paper around while I'm doing that. So we got the tail, and if you look at this, you can see how it's cracked in there. It's very interesting. Now we're getting into the feathers, and I don't think I don't like my point. I don't like the feathers pointy. So we're going to call this area here white. That's all going to be white. I'm going to cut that out. So I'll have a big dark line here, and I'll have a big dark line here, and probably dark lines in here, because it needs to be a stencil. Now I don't want the bird to fall out of the back of the stencil, so I'm going to have some connector points here. So we're going to leave a connector point there. So this is all going to be blank. The dark is going to be cut, and down here on the tail part, it's reversed. The white is going to be, here the white is cut out, and here the white is left and the dark dots are cut out. They probably won't be perfect dots. So I'm going to leave a connector right there. So I'll be cutting around like that, and then I'll come and cut in there, my line. So the wing will come up this way. And we'll do one, and I'm just going to play with this tonight. I'm not planning anything else. We'll do this bird and see how it turns out. He comes up this way. He comes this way. Like that. Now, I don't like all those little dots in there, all those little shapes in there. Right now, I'm just going to do the lines. Now, let's look at his head. His head comes around in a point like that. And actually, his neck is not that. His head comes more like that. And then this comes up and meets this way. Now I need that connector in there. And that I might need a connector here too. And this will be all white in here. And let's bring it around like that. And maybe make a shape like this to define the head. And this is all white. Now, what am I going to do with the eyes? I think what I'm going to do is, so I'm cutting it. I'm cutting around here. This part in here, all that white in there will be cut out. This will be cut out. I'll have a couple connectors here. Really, I should paint those out. But in order to get his eye to show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to have, let's put his beak in there. I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do is darken this whole area here, leave this whole area dark, cut out the eye. So when I'm cutting my shape, all of this will be left just like that black line here. And let's go look at these scallops over on this other bird. I like these scallops better. So their feathers kind of, I'm going to make them simple. I'm going to make them simple just because I'm cutting a stencil. Now this tail might need to come down a little bit further. I'm hitting the edge of my paper. And it might need to be a little bit thinner in there. And let's see. Maybe bring that up a little into there. And let's do one more. All right, let's try to, and I feel like I need to, let's just put a couple lines this way. Just, I'm not sure about this, but the art is very folk art. It's very much a folk art. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not going to go for perfection. Let's bring out I like these Avery tabs, these Avery plastic dividers. Now, I like the 8-tab ones better than the 5-tab, but I happen to pick up the 5-tab ones here. But what I really like about them is they're poked. They're already punched here, and I can put them in a book. So I'm going to put this one over a little. Now, this is fairly large, but that's okay because I'm playing. When I get good, I'll make them smaller, or I might make some flowers. But before I get started, let me come out and look at chat. Meri, I see. Oh, I'm back at a I see you. Oh, is Devin here? Hi, Devin. Barbara says, Angie, I did not see it originally. Thank you for drawing my attention to it. How nice that you took the neighbor for a 30-minute walk. Walk, I think. Wow. Barbara says, Sharon, I'm sorry you are having swollen neck muscles. Oh, Sharon, did you do something like swing from the chandelier, or did it just come out of the blue? You like the picture of the bird? Well, good, because I'm going to play with stenciling it. Now, I could draw it and draw it smaller and draw another one here and do all of that. I'm going to do that on my laptop. Here, I'm just going to get some shapes, and I'm just going to play with studying the Fraktur images is more or less what I'm doing. And, of course, now this is way too large. If you put this on a document, it'd have to be like a 18 by 24 or something. I would need a smaller one, but I'm just playing. I'm learning. And that's my whole goal here is to learn. Let's see. Deb says hi. Hi, Devin. Mina says her allergies are kicking up. Angie says, no, Meri, we went out to eat and took the neighbor. Oh, well, that's nice. Aw. Sharon says, Barbara, was a trip chasing a dog. Aw, you were chasing a dog? Let's see. What else is going on here? What kind of a bird is that? I think it was supposed to be a parrot. I don't know. That bird, Cheryl, came off of this example of the Metropolitan. Let me copy the link here and put it in so you guys can see it better. Let me go one more here. Because this link that I'm going to put in my goes to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the search function for public domain Fraktur. I've filtered it down. So there are some colored ones in there, and there are some black and white ones in there. So if you go to that link and scroll down, you will see, whoops, I don't want to go to it here. I want to go to it. You will see the image that has that bird on it. Let me go back. Should load faster this time. So I hit the link and I'm scrolling down, and it's the first one. And don't ask me what kind of a bird it is. It's a bird off of there. It was done by Johann Heinrich Otto. By 1770, Otto, a German immigrant, had begun to make various forms of Fraktur, a style of decorative calligraphy named after a 16th century German typeface. Otto's skill is evident in the pleasing checks and balances of color and form that he achieved in the composition of the repetitive motifs. So this particular Fraktur is more of a picture. It's not a document. It's not a birth certificate. If you scroll way down to the bottom of that link, there is a really cool one. Well, you have to get to now. There is one in here that is a way down to the bottom here. There aren't a whole lot of them out there. I mean, it isn't like thousands. There's probably like 36 or so. It's way down here. Where is it? It's here because that's so cool. What did they do with it? Is that it? No. Here, the love token one. Look for the love token one because it's round. And let me tell you, that looks like a mandala to me. Becky or Barb Owen would be doing that one. And it's really interesting if you read about it. If you read about it here, they'll tell you all about it. Scriptures and inscriptions and markings. If you hit that plus sign, you can read about it like it gives it in German and then it translates it. My dear child, I can no longer hide my heart from you. And in another heart, it says, I've chosen you for my dear sweetheart, if you are willing. I will truly join my heart to thine, if thou wilt also be true to me. And it goes through about 12 of those. May my heart be given over to you. I will love you till death. Love is founded on faithfulness. Through unfaithfulness, love quickly disappears. And all of those inscriptions are in the heart shapes in here. And then if you look at this, it's just beautiful. I might come back in and pull some images off of that. Look at that. Look at that. And then, you know, the tulip especially. I might pull this little tulip design and make a stencil out of it. And then inside, you tend to think that of it just being negative work. But what it is, really, between each one of those heart shapes is a flower pot with a flower coming out of it. And well, it's not between the hearts, it's between the base that the hearts are resting on. The hearts are upside down as they go around. Well, the right side up here, but they go around circular. This is very much mandala. Now, I might be able to actually do that one as a mandala. I don't have much patience for mandalas, but that one intrigues me. All right, let me go back to my bird. I'll be lucky if I get my bird done tonight. I'm only going to be on here till 10 o'clock. And we're just, you know, I've been working in all those caboodles and journals, and I actually feel like carving a stamp. But I feel like cutting a stencil and playing with something different tonight. So I'm just going to draw on this, just kind of tracing out my design. I kind of sketched it on here. And I'm just going to draw this. Like I said, I'm using these Avery. I like to cut these Avery plastic dividers. It's pretty good stencil material. It's the best that I've found other than actually buying true stencil material. All right. Now you have to, I keep telling myself I have to be conscious of what I'm going to cut and what I'm going to leave, because I don't want any shapes falling out. Now, I was going to leave a division point here. Whoops, I don't want to move it too much here. And let's see, this comes up this way. And I think I'll leave that other one up here. Leave that. And come more like that. And we'll see how that looks. I might have to revise that. You don't know until you actually do one. Now, I think it's going to be kind of hard. So I'm just going to put these black dots will be cut out. I'm going to do it that way. Now let's go in here and put his beak in. And this eye will be cut out. Now, if I go in here, let's flip the page so that, let me put you guys up on the, plug you back in. If I don't keep you juiced up, you lose your power. And I think I can go back out to chat. Come on. Mary, they used to have hex signs on the barns. Yeah. To ward off disaster. Yeah. They did. Now, all of this in here, I want to get to a blank page. All of this is going to be dark. Except for in here. This part I'm leaving white, and that part I'm leaving dark. I need to make these lines a little darker down here. And I'm thinking the dark is what I'm going to cut out. And the white I'm going to leave. I think. I'll have to try it. If it doesn't work, I'll have to revise it. And this is very simple. This is not how, don't get the idea that I think that Fraktur is done like this. This is a stencil of a bird that I got inspired by a Fraktur design. And I think it's Fraktur or something like that. I make it rhyme with tractor and say Fraktur. I tried to listen to the pronunciation, and I swear I listened to 3 different people pronounce it, and they all pronounced it a different way. I go, is it Fraktur or Fraktur? Is it an ah sound or an ah sound? And it probably depends on, I was listening to one video out there where the guy is kind of teaches all about Pennsylvania Dutch and the pronunciation of words and what they, I mean, if you, he talks in Dutch, and there's actually a that line there right here does not get cut out on his beak. So it kind of forms a circle in there, but I know not to cut it out. I hope I remember. And if you hear him talk, like he'll talk in sentences and he'll hold conversations in Pennsylvania Dutch, and it's like he's talking in a foreign language. Yeah, that's bothering me. I'm going to have to clean it up a little. Let's see. Let's bring this bird's belly out just a little more there. And maybe his tail down just a little bit more. His wing. His tail is down here. Boy, that's getting right out to the edge. All right. So, let me, how I can, I need my Q-tips. I bought a deal of Q-tips. And I put them away. Bought a little round container at the dollar store. God knows where they are. I'll just wet a towel here and roll it. I wanna fix this mouth. Let's take all that off. And this will get all inked up anyway after I... Of course, when you take some off, the rest of it comes off too. There. Now let's put his beak back. The best I can. And he's got a line that comes in there. Something like that. Hopefully I'll cut it a little better. Okay. So now I want to cut that out. And we'll see how it stencils. And then I might play with some flower shapes, some tulip ones. Let's see what we're talking about in chat. Changed in the PJs, Angie says. I got comfy. She says, I got comfy. Hold it. Find my X-Acto knife here. I don't know how many times I've been in this drawer since. Well, there's one, but that isn't the one I was looking for. There's my pokey tool. Here it is. The gold pen. I'm going to have to clean out this top drawer again. Okay. So hopefully this won't take too long to cut. Let's start down here with the wing again. And keep your hand cut away from your other hand, you know. And I'm going to shine my light on it a little bit more, so I can see it a little better. And just start cutting it. Let's see if that went through. It is. Now I'm going to cut that line out. And so we're going to come back up to this one. Just like I'm drawing it. Now I didn't get, it's hard to see where I'm going. The lighting isn't so good here. And of course, if you have an electronic cutter, that helps. That helps. But I don't have, well, I got one, but it's in Wisconsin. Oh dear. And I'm not expecting this to be perfect. I'm just getting inspired. So I'm cutting this line out. The best I can. And my curves will probably be very mechanical. But now here's the thing. If I cut this entire white piece out, what's going to happen to those dots? They're going to go out with the white piece. So I want to leave that white piece in there. So I'm going to have to have a connector. Let's put it on this side. Let's make a connector here. I'll just make a connector right there. Just for my edification here. There. Because I don't want to cut that entire white piece out or all my dots will come out with it. And I might have to put a new blade in. I've used that blade over and over and over. Arlene gifted me a whole package of blades. If I can get them out here, in here somewhere. Reaching for the bobby pins and the needles. I'll need back my chair up so I can open up the door. There they are. Bless her heart, I think I've only used 2 or 3 blades out of there because it just, like the Energizer bunny, they go and go and go and go. That needles on the bottom because I keep poking myself with them. All right, hold the phone. Meri's gonna change the blade. And in here, it's not that hard. Please don't forget. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. Deb. Hi, Deb. Deb, I've been playing with Fraktur. The Pennsylvania Dutch. I've been having fun. I got inspired by this birth certificate when I did that little paper bag. And look at, they've actually got people on theirs. Well, I don't know if I'll do a people design. I'm intrigued by the tulips and the birds. I think some of them, I was looking at one, I don't know if it was on the Metropolitan Museum of Art, it might have been, but they had, it looked like a mermaid and a seahorse. And the horse looked like a horse, but then he had a fishtail on him. And I thought that must be their idea of what a seahorse looks like. Yeah. Come on. Now. Can't get the silly thing. Do you ever do that with Ziploc, with these Ziploc things? Now, there it is. All right, which one do I want? This one? We're going to take this one. And then it opens up this way, and you get one out of it. I think there are like 5 or 6, maybe 10 blades in each one. Come on, Meri. Get them back in there. These blades will last me a long time. I won't have to worry about buying blades. Now I was playing with my hooking my phone up to my laptop and copying some files off. Dell has an app. I got the biggest kick out of it. It has an app out there, a Dell mobile app connectivity. You're supposed to be able to use your phone from your laptop, but if you go out and read the download file, they have a message that they say, we don't guarantee that this will work on the Android phone. I'm sitting there going, oh no, it's not going to work for me. Huh? This is not opening for me. And it didn't, so finally all I did was copy each file over, just plugged it in with the phone cord and the USB cord. That worked, but you can't make phone calls with it. But that's okay, I didn't want them. But the long story is, their Dell app didn't work. Hi, Meri Lou. Welcome, Meri Lou. What did Deb say? Angie, Sharon says, my family is not Amish from Pennsylvania Dutch. They are Mennonite. I went to high school with a lot of Mennonite, the Mennonite community. A lot of my friends were Mennonites. Good friends. I wasn't Mennonite. They went to a public school. They were not old order Mennonites. Good people. We liked them. And the nursing home that I worked in when I was in high school, I worked on the weekends when I was in junior high school and senior year, was run by Mennonite. Oops. These curves may not be as curvy as I would want, but we'll see what happens. Curves are a challenge, but after you get them done, and those circles may become little diamonds. In fact, these might become little. Let me cut one of these off here and see where I'm at. I need a colored piece to go behind it, a red piece or something. I just have green. Yep, that's going to work, I think. I'm doing the hard part now. The hard part is the detail part. Actually, I got all cut up in reading and researching yesterday. Well, actually, way into the night. I bet I didn't get to sleep till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was so intrigued with it all. And my great-great aunt and uncle were Pennsylvania Dutch. They came over. They were part of the Germans that went to Russia in the 1800s, the latter part of the 1800s, and Russia hasn't changed much. It persecuted, and they're not Jewish. They were Germans, but anyway, they came over in the late 1800s. And I was, not last night, but another time, I was researching my great-great-aunt, and I actually found the ship. I found her name. They keep pretty good records of that. I found her name and the name of the boat that she came over on. And I thought I saved that link. I'm going to have to see if I can't find it again, because I can't find it. I changed phones and I probably lost it, or it's someplace on my drive someplace. But I thought that was very interesting. And I can remember my mom would tell us stories. We didn't have television until, gosh, I must have been a junior or senior in high school before we had television. And my mom would tell us, we would beg her to tell us stories. Tell us a story, Mom. Tell us about growing up. Tell us about your growing up. And she would tell us these stories over and over and over again. And you know, they were new to us every time. I just loved her stories. My mom was a storyteller. She wouldn't call herself a storyteller, but she was. Probably why I like to tell stories. And she would tell about, she would wake up in the morning and she would hear my great-great-aunt, which was her great-aunt. She was raised by her great-aunt. She was like the 7th child out of 11 that her mother had. And so her mother's aunt raised her. And my great-great-aunt, her great-aunt, my great-great-aunt. And I guess it would be her mother's sister. It was her great-aunt, my great-great-aunt. Her mother's aunt. And I think, I get all that stuff mixed up. I know she was my great-great-aunt, but she would tell about how she'd wake up in the morning and she would hear my great-great-aunt reading the newspaper to my great-great-uncle in Russian because he couldn't speak American. Isn't that interesting? Or couldn't read English or something. I don't know. He might have spoke it. Probably very limited. Probably very limited. I would have liked to known him. I would have liked to known her. And I'll bet she was a fascinating person. You know, and they were young when they came over. They weren't. I mean, they had to be in their 20s, and, you know, they were not old people when they came over. And I just, you know, I would love to know what her hopes and dreams were. Did she do needlework? Did she, you know, all I know is from what my mom told me about her. And the thing I remember about her was when I was a little girl, my mom was cooking supper, and she said, Meridel, go wake up Aunt Molly. We called her Aunt Molly. Go wake up Aunt Molly. It's time to eat. And I went in there to wake her up, and she wouldn't wake up. And I went back out in the kitchen. My mom said, Did you go wake up Aunt Molly? And I said, Mommy, she won't wake up. And so Mama went and checked on her, and yep, she passed away. So I actually, probably my first contact, and I was preschool then. I wasn't in school then. And I'm going to have a connector over here too. We'll leave that last. No, let's see. This is connected here. Yeah. I'm going to leave a connector in there. Let me get another. But I would like to have known her as a person. I would like to have known my mom more in her younger days. I knew my mom when she was older. Let me grab this book cup, put it under here, and wipe this off a little. I knew my mom when she was older. My mom had my brother and I when she was in her 40s. She got married late in life. Yep, I think this is going to work. I think it's going to be fine. And I'll bet she knew what Pennsylvania Dutch was. I'll just bet you she did. She'd probably look at this and say, nice try. Nice try, however. Say, hey, I'm just learning about it. Go away, leave me alone. It's kind of a shame that we don't know our, I mean, you guys, some of your families, you may know your family, but most of us really do not know our ancestors, do not know what did they like to eat, what did they like to, they didn't watch TV or anything, but what did they like to read? Of course, their days were probably filled with a lot of work, but what did they enjoy? What was their favorite food? Well, we can only guess it was probably ice cream and maybe pie, some type of pie. So if you got to know your grandmother or your elderly relatives, consider yourself very fortunate. Yeah. I can't bring this one clear down to the point either, or I'm going to lose that. So I'm going to change this a little. See where I'm going. You have to go slow because sometimes your knife wants to kind of slip and go where you don't want it to go. Kind of has its own mind. I can get this out here. Part of the problem is I need to get that light right down here on my paper. I don't have good lighting. There it goes. Now I need to make a cut here. Yeah, I get wrapped up in, I get too inspired, and then I want to do all these projects, and I got my bead journals waiting to work on. I got my steampunk, I got my Oaxaca. I'm starting, that history journal. I didn't get this cut in here. There we go. So that comes down in here. Comes up this way. And then I get some more curves. Let's see if I can't get these out here. Now, if you had an electronic cutter, of course, this would be much easier. But you know, it's kind of fun. It's kind of educational to cut your own stencil. And you learn. You learn by doing. You learn what materials work the best, what doesn't work. Let's cut this feather out here. I don't think I cut that yet. You learn to go slow. I'll come to a point. And let's just go up this back. This is the easy part here. That doesn't mean you can't. So I'm taking out the black line. I'm going to go in there and cut all those. These will be a little harder in there. But I'm taking out the black and I'm leaving the white. You should probably, I did that opposite of what I've learned before. It's always easier to cut the detail stuff first. If you cut the detail stuff first, it's easier. I didn't think about that, but we'll get it done here. In fact, I might put a piece of tape. If I can find it. Yeah, right here. I'm going to put a piece of tape there, even though I've cut it, to kind of steady it for me. So if you don't remember, you can always get out the painter's tape. Whoops. Well, painter's tape is getting old too. And then I'm just going to tape over where I cut. So easy on it. That'll kind of hold it while I'm cutting these curves. Did you guys see that Sharon Lombard put up a video? A planner video? And she did watercolor on the pages. Any day that I told Shannon that any day she comes online is a good day. All right, I should be pulling it toward me here. You see how I'm turning the stencil. Now, Becky did gift me a rotating blade one, but let me tell you, that takes talent. I don't have that talent yet to cut with a rotating blade because you have to learn how to control that rotating blade. It's got a mind of its own. I'll rotate the paper here, the stencil. And I'm putting a good amount of pressure on this. And I'm hoping that it's going to cut. I'll probably have to go in and make some cuts, but keep it away from your fingers. Keep your fingers away from it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we'll leave it up to the Scan and Cuts to do perfect ones. This is folk art. They didn't have Scan and Cuts back in those days. Well, they did some really nice art, though. Now, I think I'm going to put another piece of tape this way because I feel this kind of jiggling and I need it to hold steady. The tape will come off when I'm done. But see, I've cut this and it's not steady. I'll find my way here again. Let's see, I come down this way. I think I'm on this curve here. Now, let's see. I think I'll come clear down to that line. Down to there. And then I'll come from here. Down to there. We'll see how that looks. Oh, let's start taking some of this out. No, let's finish the head here. I ended right here. Now I'm going to have to leave another connector there, or I'll cut his beak out. We'll leave a connector right here. Let's It's easier for me to see where these connectors should go as I'm cutting. You have to think about it though, because you could cut and not think about it and goof. All right. Now, his eye, I'm cutting that out. So I think I'm going to put a connector to his eye too, or else, let's put a connector right here. Or else his eye will come out with his head. Oh, we don't want that to happen. So I got a connector right here. It'll just be a skinny one. It'll go to his beak. Come down this way. I'm not watching chat while I'm doing this, so if you're saying something to me, save it for when I come out. Boy, I thought I pressed down hard on that. I need to make that head a little more round. We can actually cut this out here. And let's see, where did I come? Right here. And bring this over here. Pull that out. Yeah. I'm going to leave his eye. Now let's just pull this down here. Cutting out shapes. So I can see his eye. It's right there at the tip. I want to leave that. And I actually cut this out. I didn't mean to cut that out. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to leave. Let's see what. Let's cut this part out here. I chipped away at something I didn't mean to. So I'm going to redesign this in here. Let me clean that out. I chipped away this piece, and this area in here should have stayed in there. I cut it out. I wanted to cut the black out, so I'm going to have to redesign this area, or this whole part will come out, and I won't have what I want. So let me clean that off and redesign it. And don't worry about it being dirty, because it's going to get dirty if I use ink on it anyway. I'm using hand sanitizer to clean it off. And did I pull his eye out? I think I pulled his eye out too. No. Yeah, I think I did, that little eye. Well, might have to draw the eye back in. Let me get back here and see what I can do with this. All right. Where's my towel? All right. This actually comes up here. It comes down like so. It comes up. Now, where's my original? Ah. Oops. Yeah. So his neck comes there. I still got his eye in here. And I'm cutting this area here. I'm cutting this line. So this has to come like that, maybe. Would that make much sense? Maybe a little bit bigger eye. And down like that. If I leave that, And cut this out. In there. And I got it. I think that might do it. Cut this a little bit more rounded on here. Oh, we're going to try that. We're going to try it. We'll see how it works. That's the delicate part of it. I'm still happy with it. Okay. What did I do with my blade? I set it down somewhere. I don't know what I did with my knife. Oh dear me. Here, and it rolled away. Did it roll away? Huh. Maybe it was caught in that book. I don't see it. Well, how can that be? When I set stuff down, I'm going to have to say, I'm setting it here. I don't know where's that. Where's my X-Acto knife that I was cutting with? Did it roll off on the floor? Let me look. I don't see it down there. Oh yeah, no. I thought I found it. Might be a good time to come out and chat. Isn't that something? It's not here. There's spool of thread, a glue stick. Yeah, it fell way over here under my chair. I'll still come out and look at chat. I need a break. Wow. Hi, Auntie Ro. Hi, Kitty Jen. Yeah, my knife. It rolled off. It rolled off and rolled down under my chair. It always does that when I'm online, just because, well, it gives me a good break. Kitty Jen says, I do know I have some Indian and English, maybe Scottish and Dutch. And I know for sure Irish because the family always said there was the Irish. And that's where the tempers came from, being Irish. Well, I don't know. I think all humans have a bit of a temper, don't you? Maybe Irish have a bit more. Becky says, I did Ancestry. Hi, Becky. Welcome, Becky. Becky says, I did Ancestry and found out a lot of things. Bloodlines don't lie or make up stories. Don't lie. They don't lie. I think I'm a little English and Irish on my dad's side, probably more English than Irish. And then the way the story's handed down through the family is, I think it was Daddy's grandfather married a Cherokee woman. And so I probably have about as much blood in it as that lady who ran for president. I forget her name. But that's the story. He fought, I think, in the Revolutionary War. I can't remember if it was the Revolutionary or the Civil War. If he fought in the Civil War, it would have been his grandfather, because that would be the mid-1800s. If it was a Revolutionary War, it probably wouldn't have been his great-great-grandfather or something. I don't know. But I do believe that to be true. My dad was from Oklahoma, and so I think there is a teeny bit of Cherokee, but probably not enough to matter in our family, in our bloodline. It'd be interesting to go through ancestry and find out. And then on my mother's side, I'm pretty sure there's German. I don't think there's Russian. They went to Russia, but they migrated from Russia. They migrated from Germany to Russia, and then from Russia to the United States. They were caught in that migration of the late 1800s. A lot of Pennsylvania Dutch and Amish and Mennonite came over in the late 1800s. I even found the ship that my great-great-aunt came over. I found that so interesting. I would have loved to known her. I would have loved to sit down and talk to her. I think she'd be fascinating to talk to. I hope I get to meet her someday and learn her story. My great-great-uncle, my great-great-aunt, my great-great-uncle raised my mother. And, of course, it was her great-aunt and her great-uncle. And he was a mason. He was a bricklayer. And a lot of the buildings that were built in the town where we go grocery shopping, he worked on. He didn't design them. He was not an architect. He was a bricklayer. He was a laborer. And I told the story of the trunk, that because they would travel to little towns all around Nebraska here. Probably some of these buildings, maybe even here in Harvard, it's not that far away. In the 1800s, or the early 1900s, the late 1800s. He probably worked on some of them, but I have the trunk and it has his initials on it. And I've told that story before where my mom had two of her trunks, and one had a curved trunk, a curved lid, and it had a picture of a pretty lady on that. And I always wanted that trunk with the curved lid with the pretty lady in it. My brother knew, my younger brother knew that I wanted it, so he took it. And I was crying about it. I wasn't very happy about it. I said, Mom, you promised that to me. And she said, well, look at this one, Mary. It was a flat top one. And it had the slats across. It was a steamer trunk. And she said, but look at the side. His initials are stenciled on there. And that made it better. I think his initials still pretty lady any day. So I have that trunk. It's in Wisconsin. I'll get it home one of these days. It's safe, it's sound. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. Hi, Chris. Welcome. So many lies and stories. Why adults can't tell children the truth is beyond me. Well, it probably has to do with pride, Becky. It probably has to do with a bit of pride, I don't think people, there are people who intend to lie and tell downright lies, but a lot of things, parents telling children are trying to put the best foot forward, so to speak, because, no family is perfect. I'm sure that if you would go back in our family line, you would probably find a lot of, well, not a lot, you would probably find instances of some type of misdemeanor, but I don't think there's any crime that I know of in our family line, but you might, if I did ancestry.com, I might be related to some vicious criminal out there. Watch, I always found out because she had to come from somewhere, Jen said. Pride comes before the fall. Yes, it does, Becky. It does. Pride is not an excuse, But I think pride has a lot to do with it. Why the truth doesn't get entirely told. Let's see, I'm doing the eyes here. I got to be careful up here. I want this to stay. Oh, and it's going to come out. That part's going to come out. So if that part comes out, because did I cut it there? I think I cut it there to that line. I've cut that. So I got to make another cut. I want to leave that, so I'm going to make another cut down this way and see what happens. Let's cut it here. Get my finger out of the way, Meri. I might have to trim up this eye after I get this area out here because I can't see where I'm going. But you know, for all the bad actors in a family, there are good actors. There are good actors. You know, I would read the Bible about Korah's rebellion. And if you don't know anything about Korah's rebellion, it was when they rebelled against Moses. And God didn't, in this Bible, I'm telling the Bible story. I'm not saying whether it's, you know, I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm just saying it's in the Bible. And anyway, they were destroyed. The earth opened up and swallowed them according to the Bible because they didn't obey God. And Moses was telling them to obey God and they didn't do it. And it was serious enough, you know, they were on the march. They were fleeing the Egyptians. And I'm just paraphrasing this. You really want to know, go look it up, go read it. But I always thought, the reason I'm telling you this is I thought, oh no, I was probably, my plate's coming out. I was going, oh no, I was probably the part of the people that I was probably related to Korah, somebody in the Korah's rebellion. And then I got to thinking about it. That can't be because it destroyed them all. There's no legacy, you know. So I'm safe. My family line survived that if I would have been a part of it, you know. So you got to be careful what you believe about yourself. And I thought, oh no, I was probably a part of the family that rebelled. Oh, there went the eye. Well, I'll have to draw it in. I tried to save it. I cut it out. I'm going to leave it like that. I'll draw the eye in. Oh, dear me. Let's take this off and see what I have. Let's see what I have. Now this black comes out, so no fear. I'm just trying to get the tape off. This black is supposed to come out. So I think what I want to do is trim this up here. Leave that, trim this. I have to draw the eye back in. Let's see how that looks. Let's see, what did I want to do here? I need to shape this up a little more in here. This needs to be cut out. Now, I don't think I got the beak yet. I'm still cutting this. I'm not done with it. All right. I'll have to draw the eye back in. Now, cut the inner lines first if you can, because it's going to be hard to cut the inner lines if you cut the outer lines first. It's not going to be as steady. Come on. I know you're going to come up. Oh, what? I cut the whole darn thing. Well, I'll have to draw it. I'll have to practice this bird. I cut the whole darn thing. I'll have to draw that line there and the beak there. Shoot. I didn't do his head very well. I don't even know if I want to attempt these feathers down here. I'm going to make diamonds, I think. They should have been done first, too. This is how you learn. This is how you learn. I messed up his head. I could do the head separately. Put his head on him. They're going, no, Meri. I think I will. Could just get a punch and punch that out. Oh no, oh no. You guys have to suffer through me cutting it. Get out of there. It's almost gone. This one's gone, isn't it? Yeah. This is where you want a brother scan and cut. Who was saying they had a scan and cut and they never used it? They didn't like it. Somebody online said that. I was just about ready to buy one. Was that the Frugal Crafter? I think she said she had one and she seldom used it. But she does a lot of different type of art. She doesn't sit and... She does painting and watercolor and cards and... I don't see her doing... She probably art journal sketches, but I don't see her doing a lot of art journal videos. Well, I'm having trouble getting that one out. There. One more. No, and it's... You should do these detail-y things first because, see, I've got all this cut out and it wants to move while I'm cutting. And you should have this more stable to do this detail stuff. Do as I say and not as I do. I'll probably end up pulling the tail off of this poor bird. Okay, let's see what I have, with the exception of the head. Where is he? We'll make the head a green color, and then I'll draw in with black. I don't have green ink, though. I'll make it blue. Should have a mustard color. I don't have that out. I have it. I don't think I have a mustard out. Oh, I do. Yay. Hold the phone. And let's see. Let's go for this red. And the black. There's no black in my hand. All right, let's see what I can play with here. And oh, of course it has to fall right under my chair, so when I roll, I'll roll right over it. I don't know where it went off to. I knocked one off on the floor. There it is. It's way over here. Hold on. It's part of the hazard of being cramped space. Being in a cramped space. There. Okay. So we're going to make that head. I think I'll make it a mustard color. Of course, I'm not on a white sheet of paper. I'm on a cream color. I should be doing this on a white sheet. Let's go for a little blue over that. Yeah. Don't move. And then we'll draw in a black eye and the beak line that I didn't get cut. All right, now let's do his body. Let's do it in pink, and I'll probably have to outline it. This is just playing. I'm just playing to see what I can do. That's what you should do when you do your art. Just play and see what you can do. Whoops. See what happens. Now, shall I give him a blue tail again? Where's my blue? Oh, his tail's going to go down into the other, his wing. His wing is going to go down into the other one, but that's okay. And let's see. Let's make this part blue here. And let's go for the pink again. Trying to get a lot of ink on there. Let's go back with that yellow. What did I do with the yellow sponge? I may not have had a separate sponge for that. Ink may not have been the best choice, but I just wanted to play to see what would happen. Okay, let's see what he looks like. Oh, he's pretty. So let's outline him a little. He's not bad for all that trouble. Let's just draw an outline around him. Now I could do, let's do another one right down below it, all in black, just for the fun of it. I'll have an eye there. Let's get out the black. Could do them all in one color. And keep in mind, my inks are probably old. They aren't juicy. Let's do this one all in black, just for the fun of it. Oh, and he's going to go off the end of the page, just like that other one did on the picture I was looking at. I was saying how his tail went off the edge of the page. Well, that's what's happening to this one. His tail's going off the edge. Oh, well. And he's going to be entirely black, and then I'll draw a black eye. Well, maybe I'll leave a little eye there. I don't know. I'll probably have to put an eye in. Oh, I'm pretty happy with that. It's fun to play. Gotta play. The more you play, the more you learn. I learned about cutting that eye out. Let's outline him with my pen. Let's give him we'll put a white eye in there, or a colored eye of some sort. So my eye, it comes like that, and then he's got an eye right here. And we'll just outline him. This pen isn't too juicy. Use these pens and I'll just and I didn't get very good dots in there. We'll put dots in there. And I wouldn't say I got that inked up too well. But there it is. I'm a-playing. I'll come out and chat here in a minute. Let me finish what I'm doing. I'm not going to ink that in. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to ink this in. Kind of. His tail went off the edge here. And he needs an eye too. I'd probably try to cut this again. It's always harder to do it when you're doing stuff online. Let's give him a white eye here. Just a little dot. I had a lot of fun reading about Fraktur. There's a lot more I want to play with it, but enough is enough. Let me come out and chat. let me put these away. Okay, let me see what's going on. I like this one. I like how it turned out. It's not perfect, but you know, they're art. They're folk art. All right. Jen says, if I can add you on Facebook, you can message me when you or hear from her. Jill says, my brain is fuzzy from multitasking tonight. Cheryl says, I'm going to the green chair. She didn't answer, so it must be at work. Jill, Crafty Jen, Jill, Cheryl. Hi, by the way, Allie K. Auntie Rose says, not necessarily. I'm just looking to see if there's anything I need to catch. Da, da, dee, 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 dee. They're saying hello to Allie. Thank you, Jen. I do like how that one turned out. It didn't turn out, even though I had to draw the eye back in. Probably drew it better than I would have crafted it anyway. Allie K is laughing. Angie says, I can look now. Cheryl says, the food that made America is what we are watching. We are watching a history of beer. You're not watching Meri. If we're watching the history of beer. Jen says, I used to have a Moravian friend. Is that Moravian? Auntie Row, but the last I heard from that person, they switched to not being, I think she's talking about Moravian. After he married his wife and the people that I knew, yeah. Jen says, now see, Meri, you having me wanting to start another book and look up stuff. You know, I can go down a rabbit trail with this stuff. I can go down a rabbit trail. Did you lose something again, Meri? Yeah, I lost my knife. Okay, I'm not going to cut any more stencils tonight. However, I'm not done with the... Let me zoom out a little so that... I'm not done with playing with the Fraktur. Let me zoom out. I'm going to go to another page in the book. What time is it? What time is it? It's 8:06. So I got a couple hours. I'm going until 10. Let's go get one of those tulip motifs. Let's go play with some of this. Let's go to that one that was the love note one. Let's get out of this one. Da-dee-dee-dee-dum-dee-dum, dee-dum. They see they did it on furniture too. And birth and baptismal certificates. The drawing of two confronted griffins. There's a drawing of a tree with birds, a flyleaf in a book. That has a lot of interesting motifs in it, but I want to go to that love one. There's a drawing of the crucifixion, birth certificate, love token. Becky, if you're watching, way up above, well, I can put that link in again. This reminds me so much of a mandala. Let me put this in, this link, because I still got it in my... If you go to that link, if you're listening, Becky, go to that link, and that'll take you to the public domain library of Frakturs. And if you scroll down until you see the one that says love token, it looks so much like a mandala. I look like they're a mandala. I look at this and I think Becky and Barb Owen. Becky and Barb Owen. Well, I'm not going to do the I'm going to zoom in, way in, and we're going to pick this tulip here. I might do that flower pot too. Look at that flower pot. Look at that. Let me unplug it. Look at that flower pot. So this is, the art is not complicated art. And here, I'm attracted by this tulip in here. This is pretty. I think that's a very pretty motif in there. That's in the negative area between the flower pots as you go around the circle of the love token. And then the hearts, you see the blossom comes up there, and this heart is offset on the sides of the others. And it goes that way all around. There's kind of 2 rows of hearts. And then if you read the text associated with this picture, that if it's down below, you have to open the link, you can read a translation of what all is written in each one of those hearts. Hearts of love. I'm going to play with this tulip right in here. And we're just going to do kind of like a doodle. We're going to kind of do a doodle. Oops, I keep expanding it. We're going to do a doodle. Oops, I'm going to have to go to another page. See that what happens there? That's why I put this paper underneath. It catches the... Let's see if I can flip my page. I got my super tips out and my markers. I'm going to do it in super tips, I think. I'm going to play with the super tips tonight. So they used a lot of oranges and golds and greens. My golds are, and my yellows are kind of wiped out here. Let's pick a, and that's a blue. It looks green to me until I pull it out. That's a dark green and a light green. And we'll pull a kind of a rosy red and a blue just for the fun of it. And maybe a dark blue. And then I have my black. That should be enough color. If I need another color, we'll get it. All right. So I like on here, I like how that line kind of goes like that. It's very curvy. It's very elegant line. Of course, mine won't be so elegant. And I'm going to do that in this color here, I believe. I should do some swatching over here. You guys can see. I'll just do some swatching. There's this color, which is kind of a brown. I think you guys can see it. So that's going to be my branch. I got a dark green. It's showing through a little, not too much. I've got a dark green, a lighter green, I don't really need this blue, but here's a dark blue. I'll probably use that for accent. A dark blue and a little bit lighter blue. This is more of a cobalt blue, and that's more of a navy blue. There. Same color family, but one's a little bit darker. We've got the red, which has some black on it, because I used it next to black, I think. Dark red and a lighter, kind of a reddish orange. I think I have an orange too. Let's see. That's pink. It may not. It may be. That may be this. Yeah, here's kind of a goldish orange. We'll call that a gold color. That's more gold than orange. And then I've got this lighter gold, more of a yellow gold. And I think that's it, because I showed you the blues. So those are the colors that I'm going to use. And that's just about what I see on here, except for the blue. I don't see any blue on here. So I might make my own blue. So I'm going to start out with that brownish color that I did. This one. And I'm going to, if I make my leaf come like that, there's a leaf in here. So I want to start this one right about here. And I just want it to come, and it won't be exactly the same, but something like that. And come down, 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 and like that. And then there's a flower in here, and there's another stem that kind of comes around like this, and around, 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 something like that. And then there's a leaf that goes up that way. And there's a leaf that comes out this way, and kind of a blossom that comes off of here. I'm right there. And a leaf that comes up this way. And then this is the tulip. And then there's a leaf that comes out this way. One that comes off of this. And one that comes in here. So now let's go to the lighter green. And we're going to do, whoops, there's another leaf in here. Where's my brown? There's another leaf that comes in here. So we're going to do that leaf. It's just kind of like an oval shape. It's not meant to be perfect by any means. And I could have a different color green here, but there's the color green that I'm using. And then I've got a darker green that I'm going to come in here, make another leafy shape. It's more of a roundy shape in here. And then this one comes up, and it kind of comes, it forms that blossom, kind of like that, sort of, maybe not so pointy. And then there's an angular leaf that comes up this way, something like that. And then there's no leaf there, but there's a leaf coming in here. And it's kind of a round thing, like so. It's not a pointy leaf. And then there's another one that comes in here. And it's round too, it's not pointy. And then there's one that comes up this way, like that. All right, I'm happy, sort of. Now, let's go for that's a pink color. I called that gold. No, that's pink. That's this color. I don't know. That pink always throws me. We want an orange color. We're going to draw this. So it comes out like that and curves, kind of an elegant curve, like so. And then it's got a yellow center, but it's got an orange top up there. And then the other one kind of does the same thing. The other side comes like that. That may be a little too fat, but it's not perfect. And it comes around like that and goes up. And this probably connects better in there. Well, let's go for the darker red. in here. Color this in. I like the super tips. These are the first set of super tips that I got. And look, it's just like, they're like the Energizer Bunny. I tell you, that they last. For the price that you pay for them, I think they're well worth it. Now I'm making this a little bit darker. That's more orange there. But I like it. So I'm going for it. Mine's more red than orange. But I kind of like that. Now, I'm going to come back with this brown. Maybe I'll use the gold. And I want a little bit more of a thicker stem here on these. Oh, and we didn't do this. Now on here, this area is kind of a square. I don't like that. I'm going to make more of a flower point in there, and I think I'll go with the orange. I don't, if you looked at this on that love token, if you looked at this design, this in here, right in there, is kind of like a little square in there. That does not appeal to me. I'm going to make it more orangey, or thinking orange. I'm going to make it more, I don't know, like a flower. So not everything has to be on these. The symmetrical part of this, if you looked at this entire design, it's a circle. And this is just one part in the negative area between the two flower pots. I like that a lot better than that square. And then I'm going to come in with some green, a couple of green leaves in here. Maybe over here. And in here. Now, do I want to, Now, I have seen too where they'll color solid areas like what I'm doing on these petals. And then they'll come in and it's almost like they get their doodle bug on. They'll come in and they'll do dots and lines. And it's almost like they doodle on some of this stuff. If you really look at this stuff, and even in the background, some, maybe not on this one so much, but if you study them, you'll see where they come in with a lot of patterning. Let's color this in. And I'm actually going to outline this with the dark. So this is something, if you like to doodle, go and look up some of these fractal art, F-R-A-K-T-A-L, fractal art. Let's see, let's just do some lines like that in there. And that was the dark blue. Let's get the dark green out here. And let's go like that, maybe. And let's fill these in with light green. If you like to doodle, this is nothing, we're not trying to be Leonardo da Vinci here. Although, if you study Fraktur, or the origins of it, Albert Dürer he knew Leonardo da Vinci. And, oh, this is a blossom up in here. We'll finish coloring this in. He knew Leonardo da Vinci and I think Raphael. I don't know about Raphael. I know he knew Leonardo da Vinci. Maybe, I don't know who the other one was. But I was reading an article there where he knew a lot of those artists. That might be a little big, but oh well. Now, let's go back for the dark red that I have in my hand. And then I'm going to bring this down this way. I don't see that on here, but now I'm off in my own world. Oh, and I need a leaf in there. Albrecht Dürer was, oh my goodness, he was, if you Google him, oh, his art is amazing. Engravings and when I lived in Wisconsin, they had a gallery showing that had some of his original art there, and I remember seeing it. And I remember being intrigued by it then. To get to see that and to know that he did that in, what, the 1500s? To know that he did that in the 1500s. And here I was in, well, it would have been in 2000 and something, and getting to view something that was old, where I lived there, was just, it was a treat. It was a treat. And these leaves look a little clunky here, but I have to tell you, they look clunky on there too. They look rounded here. They don't have those pretty sharp, elegant points. So I would encourage you to, I love going to the Metropolitan Museum of Art and doing this type of thing. This is nothing that's, it's nothing that takes a lot of skill. And I know a lot of you like to color. Go do something like this. If you like to doodle, now, I am going to outline these just because I think they need it. I think they need it. If I were doing a Fraktur art and starting to design it, I would be doing this. I would say, it's not done until I outline it. And I think it's Fraktur, not Fraktur. But I'm not pretending to be an authority on it either. On the pronunciation of it. All right. Now let's bring this line around and down. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now, not on this design, but on other designs, I will see, let's see if I can find one in here. I will see where they'll do these little, I don't see it on this particular piece. Let's see if I can find it on another of the pieces. This is just a perfect, this is just one part of that huge mandala, that loved one. Let's see. Find another colored one here. Oh, there's another tulip one. Let's look at this one. Well, a little bit on those, but I might have to go to the one in Wiki. Let's go to the one. Let's get out of here. If you do Wiki, W-I-K-I, Fraktur, F-R-A-K-T-U-R, you will come to this page. Is this the one? There are some birds on there, but that's not the one I was looking for. I don't think that. Here. If you look in here, look at this kind of a, let me do a swipe of that. And then let's look at it close up. If you look at this shape, come on, in here, you will see all these little pointy things. And I've seen that, like you see it on the stem here. It's very prevalent in a lot of the designs. It's almost a stylistic, you see a very stylistic, you don't see it so much on this, you see it a little on here. It's feathered in here. It's feathered there. But you see it real prevalent on this green area here. You see those, and on this brown piece up here. You see it over on this piece over here, in there. So what I'm going to do here, I think I'll do it with my green, is I'm just going, I might ruin it, but I'm just going to do some, it's almost a part of their style. It's very, very much a part of it, I want to say. Now, I could be wrong, but I notice it when I'm looking at the pieces. And what I'm saying is when you're looking at this, when you're studying art, try to pick out what makes Fraktur art unique from just a doodle design. And if you were looking at something and you say, oh, that's Fraktur, that's what I see on Fraktur pieces. I see these little, I don't know, they're little, they're just stylistically fit. I don't know what to say. They're just little, almost like little, not leaves. And now on this one, they're kind of only on one side here. I'm not going to do them on the bottom. I'm just going to do them on the outside. I did them around that entire leaf. I'll probably do them around here. But that's what kind of helps your piece come alive in a way. It'd be a nightmare to cut those out individually, hand cut them. Might be able to do it with the cutter, but even then it might be a trick. So and then if you look at this one here, you can see they even have the dots on the inside of that. Kind of looks like it might represent a pineapple or something in there. I'm not going to do it there. I'm going to leave well enough alone there. But I'm just going to continue putting these little pointy things on here. I think it just kind of distinguishes it. I could be wrong. Meri says, I could be wrong. How could that happen? I'm going to go around this one too. I'm going to do it around the entire leaf shapes. But I'm only going to do it on one side of the stem. And you could do it in different colors. I'm just choosing to do mine in this darker green color. I'm liking it. I'm liking how this one's turning out. What time is it? I gotta watch my time. It's 8, almost 8:30. Tomorrow is Monday, if I have my facts straight. Kept thinking Friday was Thursday the other night. I was on Friday night and I kept calling it Thursday. But today, this is Sunday night. Tomorrow, Janet Nash comes on at 9 o'clock Eastern. And Dee Dee Willingham comes on at 8:30 Eastern. I won't be on tomorrow, but I'll be on Tuesday morning. And I don't know about Lisa. I was so afraid I missed her stream last week, but then I saw where she decided not to stream, so I felt much better about it. There. Oops, we got this one to do. Let's see, we're going to come up this way. It should be really on that one, but we'll do this one since I started. Now, if I was doing this on my tablet or even on a laptop with a drawing tool, a Wacom tool, Wacom tool is like you can draw with your pen, with your art pen, and pick out different colors. But you can have I was telling earlier how they have a symmetry tool. So if I put this as my center line and drew this, the opposite would show over here on this side. Woohoo! I think I'm happy with it. I like it on the back too. I'm not going to mess with the back. I'm going to sign it here. I'm going to put study of a Fraktur, K-T-U-R, flower, from reference photo love token. Let's go back one. Come on. No. That's in my, I want this one. Fraktur. I want to go back to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And we're going to go way down to Love Token. Dude, here, this one. American. Around 1800. Watercolor on paper. I thought it said it was done by, I don't know who it was done by. It doesn't credit us an artist. Learn more about this artwork. Timeline of history. Oh, it doesn't. I don't know if they have any more. These are not. This one's a Fraktur. Let's look at this one. This one is in the public domain too. Whoops, it turned. Come on. Birth and baptismal certificate. Wow, look at that writing. Now we're getting into the, let me stand up, into the black, what do they call that? Black line, whatever, the Fraktur alphabet in here. See, they call it's called Fraktur because the lines remind you of the Old English, but it's called Fraktur because they're broken. Like there's not a circle. Like this is probably a B. So a B would be, you know, it's very old. It's very Gothic in a way, but this is Pennsylvania Dutch. Or not, well, I think this is that's Fraktur. I don't know if this particular one's Pennsylvania Dutch or not. Johann Heinrich Otto did this one. Metropolitan Museum of Art. Let's look at one of the flowers here. Look at these flowers. Look at the bird. Look at that bird. Look at his eye. Ooh. And let's see. Oh, this is the one that had the mermaid in it. She's even bare-breasted. The mermaid, and I think over on this side is a seahorse. I think over here. We might do that flower. Nope, that's a mermaid. Maybe the seahorse is. I don't know. You got to put some clothes on if you want me to show it to you. Look at that seahorse. See? It looks like a horse here with the hoofs and everything, but you get to the bottom and it looks like a mermaid tail, fish tail. That's a seahorse. Isn't that cool? That is cool. I have to say, I like that seahorse. It's a little whimsical in its own way. But look at this. Look at this flower in here. If you go to that link that I dropped, let me go back in here and see where you guys are. I'm off in my world here. See, chat, Meri says, oh, did somebody give me a soup? Becky, thank you so much, Becky. Let me drop a link here to this Metropolitan Museum of Art. Becky, thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, I forget on this, to paste, you got to put in the clipboard. And it would be this one. Yes. So there's a link, and you have to scroll until you find what I'm looking at over here. It's a birth certificate by Johann Heinrich Otto. And it looks like it's the one with all the writing in the center and the two birds on the side. And I was looking down in this area with the cute little seahorse. I think he's so cute. The mermaids, well, I want to put a top on them. I'm modest, what can I say? I have to put leopard diapers on my my statues if I put them in my art journal. Oh dear. All right. I like that flower. Look at that tulip. It's very similar to what I did here. Well, more like what a combination of this one and this one, but it has scallops in here up at the top, and it's got this roundy thing. That's pretty. But when you start combining them, you get something like this. And then you get the flower off over here and there. And then you come over here and you get a different type of flower, which I find very interesting. They're not exactly the same on each side of that flower. But I think I'm going to do that seahorse because I think he's so cute. He's a horse. He even got a cute little smile. He looks kind of green though. He's a green horse with an orange fish tail, snail tail. He's a seahorse. Of course, of course. Have you ever seen a seahorse, of course? Let's flip it this way. Come on, can you flip? Now, let's see where I went here. Oops. I don't want that. I lose my way here. He's right there. I'm going to do that little seahorse because I think he's so cute. And he's in his own little box in that, on that design. Let's flip the page. And I guess we're going to flip my journal too. I'm going to do them in the landscape mode if I move my super tips off the desk. Thank you, Becky, for the super chat. That was really sweet of you to do that. I appreciate it. All right, what do you guys see? You see it all. And I'll try to make mine a little bigger. Let's put this tape. I wonder if I put this tape down here, if that'll keep my... Look, I got this. A mask of feathers. Kind of interesting in a way. Let's see if this will stop my tablet from sliding down. Yeah, it does. Very cool. All right. I don't think I want my horse to be green. He's green. He's very primitive. And I have to tell you, his tail is little. He's got a very little bottom end. He's got a bigger front end than his tail. I don't know how his tail could ever... So we're going to do that brown. This brown up here. Right here. And mine might end up being primitive too. I'm going to start up here with his ears. And I'm just going to... And his ears are not pointy. They're kind of square on here. And... he comes down like so. I don't want to get him too big. And he's got a... Looks more like a dog than a horse. But just wait. Just wait. Now he's starting to look something like a horse. And let's see, he's got a hoof, a leg that comes out this way. And he's got a little horseshoe here. And he's got another leg that comes out this way. And it's kind of interesting because if I look on this, if you could expand that way in, you can see where they did the horseshoe, but it looks like they colored the frame over the horseshoe. Because I can see a horseshoe on there, but the frame is coloring it in. So that tells me they put the frame on this drawing after they did the horse. Or they drew the horse over the frame. Something like that. Something like what I would do. Otto, I think we're both primitive here. All right. So, and then his body comes down like this. And then he's got this circular, let's see, his head comes down like that. All right, now I'm going to make his, where's my lid? I'm going to make his tail. His body might be too big in here. We'll see. I'm going to make his tail bigger than what they have it. I like primitive art, but I'm going to do my own thing. So, whoops, that one's drying out on me. Let's go to, well, let's see if I can get another orange in there. Now, let me reach. Oh. That's gold. Oh. That's pink. That's pink. Is this orange? That might be orange. That looks like gold to me, though. That might be orange. And this is brown again. That's about what I have. I might have to go to my other markers. Let's see. I might just use them. What I have. That's not the same color as this. Well, it's almost the same color. So it comes around like this. A little bit more roundy. Like that. Like that. And then it comes up. It's a seahorse for sure. I don't have the juicies colors that I want. I'm going to town this week. I'm going to buy me some more super tips. They're pretty cheap. They're pretty cheap. That's what I like about them. These are the first ones, but obviously I've been using my oranges. That's pink. Let's go to the red. I'll give it a red outline. And then the center here, it's got a center circle. Like so. And then it's got all these scales. Well, let's come back up and do this. There's nothing hard about this because it's folk art, so it's not meant to be perfect. So if you don't feel like your art stands the trial of true art, don't worry about it, because mine doesn't either, and neither does his. He's got a very tiny rear end on his horse. I made my rear end fatter. Oh, dearie me. And then it's got all these scales in there. I'm going to draw scales on here. And then we'll come back in with the orange again. And this is not that scaly in here. It comes up to sort of a pointy point. Like so. And then these are solid. It's a seahorse. Of course, of course. Haven't you seen a seahorse before? It's so fun to go out and look at this art and look at the art that was done years ago. And, you know, some of it is beautiful. You look at what the art that was done during the Renaissance and just some of that classical art. You know, they were pretty talented folks back then. Of course, now we have such technology that it's a lot easier to do realistic things, but this is more whimsical. And I love the whimsy of it. I don't do much whimsical art, but this certainly qualifies. A seahorse, of course, of course. All right. He's got a cute eye. He's got a nose up in here too. Let's see. Let's color him in. Well, let's use the gold. Let's use that gold. And we'll color orange over the gold. That'll help. Becky sent me a set of super tips. I don't have them out. I don't have them out, Becky. I have them. I haven't been using them. They're probably still pretty fresh. Becky's sitting there, go, where are the ones I sent you, Meri? I think they're over there on that bookshelf, but I'm just going to continue. I don't want to get up and go get them. I have them, Becky. I have them. Honestly, I do. These are about ready to be tossed. These are my original ones. But they're still giving me some juice. All right, let's go in with a little of that orange that wasn't working so good in here on top of it. I'm pretty happy with that. Now the center is a darker gold color, and it's almost this color. That's the brown I used. That's the gold I used. That's orange. That's pink. That's pink. I keep that pink. Keeps fooling me. This is the brown that I used. I'm going to use this brown to make the lines. It's got lines in here. Kind of feathering out like so. Like a seashell almost. Yeah, I like that. Now, let's go in with the, I have a lighter yellow, don't I? Did I pull a lighter yellow? No, it doesn't look like I did. Let's go to the gold again. There. Now the poor horse, he's green. I don't want a green horse. I think this is the color that he actually, I think he has a mane here. Whoops. Where did I go with him? I think they actually put a mane on him. I'm going to put a mane on him. Now this is all colored in, but it's green. I don't want a green horse. I have to look at my colors again. I got these markers, but I can make him purple. Have you ever seen a purple horse? I can make him gray. Gray. Let's make him gray. Where's my other? What'd I do with them? They're behind me. Let's make him gray. I can live with a gray horse. I can't live with a green one. A little darker. Now let's start out. We got a light gray and a dark gray. And kind of a medium gray. Let's start out with the light. That works. You can tell these are getting used. Let me pick it up. I don't know if I'll get this whole horse in gray. Becky's going, Meri, what did you do with the ones I sent you? They're here. I think they're over there on my shelf, but I don't want to get up and go get them. I want to use the ones I pulled out. All right, that's fairly good for the first layer. Now you can put water on these and smooth it out. I don't want to get my page all wrinkly. I don't want to get my page all wrinkly. These are not juicy anymore. This one's not juicy anymore. I don't know if I've got another one. Let's see. Now let's go to the medium. Let's put in some darker ears here. Maybe draw his eye in here. It's got a cute little eye. And the nose. He's got a nose here. Sort of. And a mouth. And we're going to make a chest area under here gray. Some grayish color in there. This is a darker gray. And then there's darker underneath of his belly. Like that. And we'll make his back leg gray. Maybe make his legs a little gray there. And now let's come in some more of that brownish color. Let's give him a, let's go for the black. Let's see what's this color. I'm pretty happy with him. I am pretty happy with him. He's not, yeah, he's a seahorse. What can I say? He's a whimsical. This is true whimsy. All right. I am happy with him. Well, let's document it. Study of a Fraktur seahorse. This is from public domain. I'm going to put Met, M-E-T, Metropolitan Museum of Art, from the Met, birth, and baptismal. Certificate. By Johann Heinrich. Johann Heinrich, H-E-I-N-R-I-C-H, Otto, O-T-T-O. And I'll sign it and date it March 13th. 2022. And I should put this as, what is the date on this thing? Come on, back one. 1782. So this has been fun. What time is it? It's 9:08. I still got an hour. I'm still going. Let me come out and chat. We cut a stencil of a bird here. I did play with that. I'm not totally unhappy with it. I'm not totally happy with it either. I think I could do better if I just sat here and did it by myself. But it turned out all right. And then we did the flower. I'm happy with that. And the seahorse. So let me come out and do a little chat, and we'll see what else I can do here. I'm into doing the Fraktur. And I'm just using public domain images because I don't want to get into a lot of trouble copying somebody's art. Becky says, it was just so nice having them here for dinner and a chance to chat and laugh again. Oh, you had your birthday party today. You got your cakes all baked? Becky said, Cheryl, it was so good. We still have so much cake left. Everybody filled up on meatloaf, mashed potatoes, broccoli casserole, and roasted carrots. Yeah. I'll bet you are tired tonight, Becky. She says, I'm so tired tonight. I'll bet you are tired. I'll bet you are. Scott doesn't care for cake. Does Greg like it? Greg isn't either. I'll take some to my mother-in-law. Okay, that's good. Ah, thank you, Cheryl. She says, I like your seahorse. Thank you, Cheryl. It's fun. It's fun to do these things. Let's see what else. We're talking about Becky baked two. Did you end up baking 2 cakes or 1 cake? I know you were started out baking 2. Nope, never saw a purple horse, Jen says. But if it's a Fenty horse, then I suppose it could be purple. Well, the horse on this certificate was green. You know, and it probably, that might be my tablet. That might, because, you know, as I look at this, I could see this having a greenish tone to it. So it might be just a matter of the coloration between them scanning it. That horse could be gray in real life on this certificate. It could be great. Cheryl says, make him any color you want. Oh. Let's see. My super tip markers. You do not like your super tip markers? The colors aren't always true to the cap color. Well, that is true. But that's kind of why I did my little palette here. If you do a little palette of the colors that you think you might want to use, then you know what colors you're going to get. So I would advise you, Cheryl. I don't give out much advice, but if you're working with super tips and you're having trouble with the cap color, see, I went in and I pulled the colors. I pulled the ones that I thought I would use, and then I just did a little palette here. And you know what colors that you can reasonably expect to get out of them. So I understand that. But you know, super tips are not the only ones that happens to. I can tell you that. That's why we do swatches. That's why we do color swatches. I don't do a lot of swatching, but swatches are a good tool. Cheryl says, I wanted to draw the bird. Now I can thank you. Yeah, the bird, I would advise you, keep it simple. When you do your first one, keep it simple. This is fair. I left out a lot of detail on this. And then if you draw the bird again, then, you know, go in and add your doodling. You know, maybe just get the shape of the bird, maybe, you know, the way it faces, if you want it angled or if you want it going this way or that way. You know, and do it more than once. All right, let's see. Cheryl said, I sent my friend Simon's cat video where the cat was being bothered by a bug. Well, it didn't go well for him. It didn't go well for the bug. Angie said she took a nap. This is where Cheryl said, "Look up, Meri, look up." Thank you, Becky, for that super chat. Aw, it's so cute. She's got a little cat yelling at me here. Cheryl says, "Can Angie come out and look, or are you done with the knife yet?" I'm done with the knife. I don't even know where it's at. Let's put it away. Yep, I'm all done with the stencil. Okay. My brain is fuzzy, Jill says. Auntie Rose says, huh? That's what I would say, huh? Oh, there was something else I was going to do tonight. I'm going to tell you about it. I probably won't do it because I'd have to go hunt for what I want. Carol, the Magical Touch, I didn't get online this morning, but I was in her chat yesterday where she was showing us how she stitched on. Well, when I got in there, she was showing the templates for the hexagons and everything. I think she bought them on Amazon, and she was talking about embroidering inside of that. I kind of caught the tail end of that. But then she talked about needle tatting, and she was showing, was it Roy? Somebody she was showing, and she went clear back. I'm not sure who she was showing. I was saying, it was Mike, I think. It was Mike, where WTF Mike, where she was showing where she, on her scroll that she did last year, I think she did a fishing scene. I think. I can't remember, but I know it was Mike that she said that she documented that part of her scroll, and she scrolled back, and she was just chatting about her scroll. It's just I love that scroll. I don't have my scroll out, but I caught something that she said. She said that she's starting to write down in a little book what all those little motifs mean. And I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that because I'm not that far along in my scroll. I'm still in January. But what I'm thinking I'm going to do is build me a little journal, and I might just make several little journals, and I don't want them to, let's get out my Society of Idea Collector, because I think I jotted down, where did I put my Society of Idea Collector? Up here? No, over here? I just hate it when I have stuff in my hands and I set it down, and by golly, it disappears on me. Where did that go to? I mean, I had it out tonight. Come on, Meri. It's not under my chair. It's not behind my chair. I'm just gonna, it really starting to bug me when these things happen, because here it is. My fussy cut sack was on top of it. Honestly, I want to talk about what I want to do for my journal, and what I'm going to do with it. This is where I was thinking about something. This is my Society of Idea Collector. All right, so what I want, my scroll is like 6 inches wide, I think. We'll pretend like it's 6. I think it's 6 inches wide. That looks about right. And this is just scribble. This is scribble. This is not meant to be perfect. I'm just kind of showing you what I want to do here. All right. So this is not the front. This is the back. Put this back. So this is back of stitch scroll. And then I have like, it's 2022. That's kind of in back stitch. And then I've got that little lady motif in January, and I just have the lines where she's stitched in. She's just, and it just kind of looks like that, scribbled. They're just kind of whip stitched in there. She's just a felt motif. And then I have the word January. I'm just going to write it out, January. And then I have my hibiscus in here, and that's all done in outline stitch. So that's pretty predominant on the back too. And this is all back stitched, outline stitch here, and then there's a flower pot here. And I'm starting to do the wood floor down here. So think of this as being kind of an outline stitch in here. My hibiscus plant kind of comes out like that and like that. And this is the flower pot. But what I think I'm going to do is on this, I'm going to get some like organza fabric. I think I have some pretty fabric that I got from Lori, Paint Girly. And it's really thin, like an organza type fabric. And I'm going to stitch it like a little envelope on there. And I don't want a big wide, I don't even want it, I don't want it wide. I'm thinking I want it to go horizontal. I want the envelope to go horizontal. So maybe my journal, 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. That would be as wide as I want it, by just right in there. And maybe for every month, 2.5 might be even too big, because I don't need a whole lot of pages, because I'm just going to have to say hibiscus. You know, I'll write hibiscus, amaryllis. Why I said hibiscus, I don't know. Amaryllis. You know, I'll document that I grew my very first amaryllis plant this year, and then I'll put wood floor. We put a new, you know, and maybe just document what each one of these motifs are. And this only has to be a couple pages. It isn't going to be a big, thick journal. It could probably even be smaller. It could still be a 1.5. But I want it to have an organza envelope, and I'm still roll it up. I'll still roll it up. So this will probably roll. I could put this as a hard cardboard. So even if you rolled, like this is 1 inch here, and 1.5 inches would make a nice little roll. And so I could still use a pretty stiff cardboard there without bending that. And use an organza fabric and make an envelope on the back. And I'm planning on leaving my back bare. I'll put bare back. I'm not planning on, I want my stitches from the back to show as I roll it out. I'm not planning on covering it, but I think I will put an organza envelope. And I'll do that for every month. Every month, I'll document what motifs. Like in February, I'll have a square from Becky. I've got one from Nettie, one from Anne. I've got one from Ruth and Janet Nash. I think those are the people that have sent me little fabric squares. And then I'll put my own. And that's all I'm going to do for February. But I'll document which square came from who. So I only need a few pages. And I'll just keep, I think I want my journal to be pretty strong, the cover's like a hard cardboard, because I don't want it to curl up as I'm rolling in it. Or I might keep it out until I finish. I don't know. I haven't decided that part yet. But that's another thing I got going. I think Carol kind of inspired me Friday. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. I was in my world there. Hold on. I go off into these little rabbit trails. Let's go down to the bottom. Yeah, I meant amaryllis. I said, what did I say? Hydrangea? What did I say? I can't even remember what I said. I meant amaryllis. Cheryl says, I will not do tatting, but it was fun to see her do it. You know, it's not hard, Cheryl. Needle tatting is not hard. If you can crochet, you can needle tat. It is not hard to do. Yeah, that scroll. That scroll is awesome. Yeah, you need to swatch. Just swatch those super tips. As long as you got them, you might as well use them. That doesn't mean you have to go buy more. But if you use them, just get out a little piece of paper and swatch them so you know what colors you have. And I'm continually putting the wrong... This pink always throws me off because I look at it in the box, and when I look at it like this, I think it's gold. But it's not gold. When you turn it this way, it's pink. And I have several times colored something thinking I was putting gold on the page. And even in my tablet, it kind of looks from my tablet, from me just looking at my little square here, this looks gold to me. It's not gold, it's pink. Or it could be, no, that's orange one. Where's the pink one? Maybe it's this one. They all look gold to me. Everything looks gold to me. Oh. Becky said, this was the pink champagne cake I made. It's so delicious. Let's go take a look at it. My Cake School. Let's go see what she did. Becky made a pink champagne cake. See, Becky, you could stitch a cake on for March. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that, see, you could sketch that or paint it on there, doodle it, do a Fraktur of it. You got all those loops. Ooh, that looks delicious. I'll bet it was delicious. Let's see. What else is going on out here? Oh, okay. That is good. If it were here, Sweet Tooth something. Oh, we're talking about Scott and Greg. It was just nice having them here for a chance. Okay. Let's go do another quickie design. I've got a little over a half an hour. Let's go look at this one again. Let's see what's on here. We could do those birds. We could draw the birds. I'm not doing the bare-breasted mermaids. I kind of like this center flower, if I can get to it here. Let's turn it sideways. Come on. Flip, 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 flip. There we go. And I'm looking at this right here. I kind of like the center one. It's very elegant, you know, like the leaves come down and swoop up. And it's got these pointies in there. And it's got a flower there. And that one I was talking about, a tulip, looks like it has ice cream cones on top of it or something. All right, we're going to do this motif right here. And shouldn't take me too long. In landscape again. And I've learned something. If I put some masking tape or painter's tape down here, it'll keep my tablet as slant is what I need. All right. See, I'm way behind myself up here. I'm just getting it out here. Am I even live? No. There we go. Okay, let's go back. Oops, I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go here. Oh, and now I'm going to have to enlarge that again. All right. So a lot of golds and greens. A lot of golds and greens. So let's go with the, well, my oranges are getting dry. Let's do a pen plus gear marker with this one. Let's put this, well, I'll leave these out for now, but let's get some pen plus gears out. I like these super tips when they're nice and juicy because they cover a lot of area, but I've covered a lot of area already with them. All right. So we want orange. The greens are pretty good yet. We want this orange. And the greens are good. Maybe the gold here and maybe a yellow. My yellows, I don't know. I have not found a good yellow marker. These, they blend in so much with that. Don't really have a good yellow one. We'll take this one, but I'm not happy with yellows. Yellow does not make me happy on this paper because it's this is my copy paper and it blends in so much. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that for now. I enjoy doing this. This just kind of breaks me from the, I've been making so many journal pages and journals and stuff like that, that this is kind of fun to stop and do this. All right, we're going to go back and use, let's use that brown. That brown super tip was pretty juicy. This one, this one, this one. All right. Now, all right, so we want our flower right in here. We're going to bring, maybe we should do the flower first. We'll do the flower first. Maybe bring it, well, it's kind of off center. We're going to put it kind of off center. And I'm going to draw it in the brown and then I'll come back in with the greens. So it kind of like that. And then it has these orangey kind of circles around it. It only has 4 of them. Like that. And then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 petals. Long petals. So there's 1, 2, and let's put 1 up here. Like that. And then there's 3 on this side. Right? I think. There's going to be 3 if there aren't. This might need to come down a little bit more. And I think there's 1, 2. There's only 2 on this side. 1, 2 long, 1, 2, 3 long. There's only 2 here. We're only going to put 2. Something like that. And then there's, let's get out the orange. Where's my, I'm going to switch to orange here. See how this looks. There's orange in here. and an orange in here. And one coming out this way. This is awfully big, but I'm going to go with it. I'm not going to get everything I wanted on there. Oh, well. Orangey there. And orangey there. And an orangey in there. Let's color them in. Now these are alcohol markers where those others were water-based. And these will come through a little bit more. Let's put this here. These will soak through. Alcohol will soak through a thin paper. The water-based ones soak through, but not quite as bad. All right, and then these are orangey in here. I might add a little red in there. Now we're going to go to the green. That's blue. I have a dark green here someplace. That's gray. Did I knock the dark green over? That's the lighter green. Here. Now we're going to a dark green in here, about the same height as the orange one. Between each one. And this actually comes up a little higher. And they're just kind of peeking out. Let's see, let me get that brown out again. These need to be a little higher. They're all about the same height. And I suppose if you did this enough times, if you drew this enough, got enough practice on several documents, you get good at doing this. Let's see. There's one coming out here, and one coming here, here, and in there. And then this is green. I'm going to make that a lighter green. Whoops, see, I almost put that on the wrong cap. Now, let's go to the lighter green. Let's make this a lighter green. Yep. And then it's got the brown stem coming down here just a little ways. And these are yellow with a bit of orange in them. See, I'm just not happy with my yellows. I don't have a good yellow. Let's go to, let's see how this looks. It's a little better. It's more of a gold. Gold is okay. I wanted more of a bright yellow, but this will work for now. In fact, my background is cream, so this is probably better than the yellow anyway. Now, just because I'm going to go back in with the dark blue, and I'm going to outline. I could do it with black too, but I'm going to outline these because I think it just details them a little more. I think it pulls them together. And they're not perfect. They're just, it's similar to doodling. If you like to doodle, you'd like to do this because you just relax when you do this type. That I might have too much in there. When you do this type of work, it's to me, it's relaxing. And I like to study. I like to go out to the Metropolitan Museum of Art and go to their public domain. And I like to study the art that other people did in other time periods, especially doodling. And this, I wouldn't call this exactly doodling, but all right, it is 9:38. I still have time. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to swoosh down with my leaf and kind of, it kind of comes up, it ends right in there. And it has a little flower that comes down this way, and a little flower down this way, and a flower in here, and a flower up there. So let's get that brown out again. And I'm going to come down like this. I'm just going to swoop down, and kind of come right in there. And that's kind of where it ends on there, because there's more out in here. I'm not going to get that tulipy flower there. I could put that tulipy flower over there. I like that tulipy flower. Okay, so now let's go to my green and draw the leafies in here. Actually, this comes down further. And the leaves are round. They're not pointy leaves. They're round. They're round leaves like that. They're not pointy. And let's see, these kind of, well, there's a flower that comes down there. There's a leaf in here. And one coming down that way. And then there's the flower's an interesting shape for a flower. Let's see. Let's go back to the brown. The flower looks like this. It's kind of a interesting shaped flower. And there's another one that comes out over here, and the same type of thing. Like that, kind of. Very, very simple. All right, let me go back to my green. There's a flower in here. I'm sure tempted to put that tulip. That tulip belongs there. I'm going to bring this up a little bit more. Let's continue this on up like this. Like that. And I'll put some more round leaves on it. All right. Now I'm going to put this tulip. A tulip just intrigues me. Let's see. It's facing that way. So I'm going to have to be careful as I draw it. I'm drawing it in green. Let's go back to my brown. So even if I don't get it perfect, it doesn't matter, because this is This is a folky art. This is not nothing that's... And then it has these, I don't know, shapes up here on top that kind of come out to the point there. And then it has a stem in here that kind of comes down. We're going to bring it down like that. And then let's go more with the leaves. These shapes over here are a little bit more cylindrical. They're still not beautiful pointy leaves. There's no leaves on these. I think I'm going to leave it like that. And I should have something in there. What time is it? 9:44. Let's go ahead and color these in. Just fun to play. It's just fun to play. Does not have to be perfect by any sense of the word. We're just getting inspired by Fraktur art. Fraktur. Trying to pronounce it the way I heard it. Fraktur. I think my great-great-aunt and great-great-uncle were, I wouldn't say that they were strictly Pennsylvania Dutch, but I think they had some of that in them. All right, this is going to be orange in here. And we're going to this, was it this color? No, it was this one. It was that color, right? Yeah, this one is just not juicy. I'm not impressed by any of the yellows that I buy. They seem to dry up awfully fast. I've noticed that even in the highlighters that I buy. All right, now let's go to a dark green. I had it in my hand a minute ago. There's a dark green in there. And then this orange, there's some lines in there. And some dots. And there's some lines in here. Now I'll color these a little bit darker. Oh, I missed that one, or it didn't. All right, these are yellow again. I don't have that good yellow. I'm going to make it this color. And it has lines in it. Now we're going to come back to those leaves with the dark green. And they got some, I'm just going to put some, they've got some lines in it. I'm not sure that there is exactly, I'm doing exactly what they did. I'm doing what I think is a leaf. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's get out that dark blue. And I'm going to go ahead and put my little pointy dots on here. I just feel like they need them. Maybe just on the outside of the leaves. It just, to me, it just adds that touch that says, stylizes it. Almost looks like a cactus. I wouldn't say that I see that on all of them, but to me it just adds a touch to it. I think I'm going to call it done. It's not perfect, but it's not meant to be perfect. Where's my pen? So this is still, I'm going to put study of a Fraktur, well, you know, T-U-R, flower, from birth and baptismal certificate. Met public domain. What did I say? 1782? 1782 - Johann Heinrich Otto. And I'm going to sign it. Today is 3/13/2022. All right, let me come out and chat. Let me come out and chat. It's getting pretty close to 10 o'clock. Come on. Live chat. Live chat. Bye, Jen. Mary, you gonna do a stencil that one? Probably not, Rhonda. I just wanted to play with the stencil on that bird. Stencils take a lot of planning. I could, you know, just cut. I could do a stencil of it. I probably would not do all the little dot things. I'd probably draw them on. Excuse me. But that one was fun to do, wasn't it? That one was fun to do. And I like my little seahorse. I like my little seahorse. He's so whimsical. And then we did the rose, or the tulip one here. I like how that one came out. And we did the stencil of the bird. I kind of messed up on the bird's head. I had to draw the bird's head back in. This was not the stencil. This was the sketch. This was the stencil, and this was a stencil in color, and this was just black. And I added a white eye that got smeared. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with these. This is what you do when you're studying. Now, you can do other types of studies. I'm going to get me some more super tips. Becky says, go use mine, Meri. Let's document this. This was a sketch for a Fraktur a bird design. Stencil. And then I'm going to put stenciled image in with colored ink. And black image, black ink. I'll just put, and then I'll put note. I had to draw eye and beak back in. I damaged the stencil. The stencil, if I write this stuff down, then I'll remember when cutting it. And I'll sign it 3/13/2022, and I'll sign it. I doubt that I would use this. I would want, if I was doing a bird, I would probably want it much smaller. And that would be pretty hard to cut. That would be pretty hard to cut. Oh, I already dated it. Angie says, bless you, Meri. The flower's cool. They're all nice. Thank you, Rhonda. That poor bird lost its head. It sure did, but I gave it back. The flower's cool. They're all nice. Thank you, Rhonda. Oh, wait. I got my sound on here. Lost its head. It sure did, but I gave it back. Where's my sound? Oh, wait. I got my sound on here. No. Well, now I lost you all together. Is that it? Where's my sound? Where you at? This is weird. Come on. Well, now I lost you all together. There. Tablet. I don't use this tablet a lot, and I just put it in this mode and mostly keep it in that mode. That poor bird lost its head. It sure did. Lost its head. Let me reach for a Kleenex. Rhonda says, good night, Jen. Have a good night. Jen says, I need to go get some rest. Thank you, Mary. Cheryl says, I've got to go. I think we're pretty tired. Becky said she's going to go take a shower and get ready for bed. Cheryl's leaving. I think it's time to close out the chat. I don't see anything. We're back to where Scott and Greg don't really care for cake. So I want to thank you all for coming. Don't forget, tomorrow is Monday morning. Janet Nash comes on at 9. Dee Dee Willingham, 9 Eastern. Dee Dee Willingham comes on at 8:30 Eastern. Janet Young, I think, comes on at 1 Eastern. Lisa Conway, if she streams, usually comes on around 6 o'clock Central. Have a great start to the week. I think I'll make my seahorse, my whimsical seahorse. Maybe I should document it like that too, so people will go, what did she draw? If it was on a birth certificate, I could understand that. Have a great week, everybody. Bye. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye. Good night.